I enjoy the rush for me. It's all about excitement and brain stimulation. For me, like poker to me is math and odds and probabilities, and it really stimulates my mind and keeps my mind working and brain working and stuff like that. And just the rush of having a lot of money on the line and actually winning, it really feels good to me. There's this one time when I was about 19, I was at Jackson Rancheria and I had $25 left in my pocket, and I put it on the roulette table, and I turned that into $800 in like 20 minutes. So that was pretty fun and exciting. And then I just took that and left. But probably the most I ever won before is probably about $1,500. So that was a nice little night. All the casinos on the Las Vegas Strip are pretty extravagant, which kind of would throw like an amateur off their game because there's a lot of money flying around, a lot of bells and whistles. So I try and stay in like, you know, like the smaller poker halls where I can try and just get some locals that aren't like that professional trying to take all my money.
I think that people who are gravitating to this field like constant stimulation. People from all walks of life. You might be sitting next to a premier burn surgeon from Stanford and a guy that does sanitation for city of BFE. You don't know. Moments. You get to know people, they're regulars, people you play with day in and day out, and yet you still have that desire to compete with them. Poker players are very diverse. It's a diverse community, and in a casino like this, it becomes almost a secondary family environment, like a Cheers bar. It's almost like not coming to work. Most days, it's like I get paid to engage in my hobby.
I'm a player that likes to play with good vibes, and I feel like if the timing's right and I know that the line, when I know that the line's in like the right place and I feel a good feeling on the game, I'll go ahead and I'll make a bet on it. Well, it started when I was a kid. We'd always go over to Grandma's house to have dinner, and then after dinner we'd all sit down and we'd play poker. And when I was like 12 years old, I would ask my mom for like $10 for allowance so I could play poker with grandma and auntie and uncles, and ever since I can look over a table, I've been getting into it and playing cards. And I think, so the easiest way for an amateur to get started would probably create an account online, and there would probably be a bookie that would take your bets, and a bookie would be pretty much your bank. So you would place bets with the bookie, and if you win, the bookie would pay you out the money. But if you lost, then the bookie would keep your money that you bet. So gambling for me is figuring out the odds and probabilities of a different scenario. So poker for me is a lot of math and odds and trying to figure out if I have the best hand in a scenario against the opposing player. But when it comes down to sports and stuff like that, I always try and look at matchups and weather and see what favors me the most before I place a bet.